Welcome back to Outside the Barn, where today we're going to be going over the new pole barn. Enough of you guys have asked for a tour. I suppose I'll give it to you. There's not a whole lot to see, but it's worth looking at anyway. Let's go check it out. Starting on the outside, you can see that, it's a barn. It is technically a pole barn still. It's 30 by 50, 14-foot sidewall. Funny enough, that building is 30 by 50. It's just shorter. So it's actually not any bigger. It's just this one is taller so that we had some head space. Now I've put two 12-foot doors on the front. Lots of room to pull in. And then a 10-foot door on the side. This is mostly just a parking spot, so saved a couple bucks there. You can see the spray foam insulation has oozed its way out in a few spots. I need to clean that up. I'll never do it. I don't care. This is a shed I got from Temu for like 75 bucks. Threw that together. Just a little extra storage. And you tell that it's already starting to look like home around this place. Now, the secret to this barn is the 12-foot door on the back side. So you have a pull-through bay. I can roll cars off the hill into the shop. I can drag them up with a truck and a chain and drive right through. That's something I wanted, and I'm glad we did it. It's very overgrown over here. Don't judge me. I've been very busy. No time for weed eating. It's almost winter anyway. It'll all be gone. You can see some more foam has seeped out there. We got one man door right here on the side. And then we have the new shop. So you guys have seen this in the last couple of videos, but I haven't really gone too in depth with it. We, of course, have a wildfire lift. Wildfirelifts.com was kind enough to provide this lift. And I can't be happier with the thing. We got the underlift lighting. We got the bridge jack. This thing is just killer. Total game changer. And as skeptical as I was, I think most of you guys are cool with me using a lift. And since I'm working on cars with 90% of my time now, it's a hell of a lot easier on me. We did that 2+2 last week, and I felt pretty fresh every day after working on it, as opposed to rolling around on the floor. And I think if you're working on cars all day, man, that's almost a necessity. And you know what? That damn 4-post lift was, I think this 4-post lift here, and it's a wildfire. It's a good one. These things are overbuilt. I think it retails for $6,500, which got me to thinking, like, literally at any point in my life, I could have fixed up a car, sold it, and had a lift. Like, I didn't realize that they weren't really that expensive. I always thought they were like $10,000, $15,000. I never looked. And that is a damn nice lift for $6,500. This is the XLT. I mean, she's a 9,000-pound big dog. And the other cool thing about it is, of course, I can store cars. 2 more cars in here get kept out of the weather, and that's very important to me. I may end up asking Wildfire for another lift to put over here in the parking spot, just so I can park 2 cars in one spot again. That's most important thing to me, is keeping the good stuff out of the weather. My Wildfire banner seems to have fallen, unfortunately. I did have the spray foam insulation done. My cousin, Aaron, runs One Source LLC. You need him for any contracting kind of stuff. He's the one that got the building put together, the spray foam done, and he does the concrete work himself. This thing's sitting on a shit ton of concrete. That's not a concern on this barn. That was one of my problems with the other one, is the concrete was too thin to put a lift in it. And by the time you break down pouring a new slab or this made more sense. Plus, I got more room now. The spray foam is pretty good, but I will say the guys that did it, there was one guy who really knew what he was doing. Like, you can tell, like, the roof looks nice. That wall looks really nice. And then the young kid that was working with him, I mean, I'm not complaining, but there's like 10 inches of foam in this wall. You can't even see the boards. There's like this board here, this cross board, that's set like 4 inches off of the outside wall, and it's level with it. This is, there's a lot of foam on this half of the building. Like a lot of foam on this half of the building. Now, I was cool with it because I'm like, hell, it kind of looks like the old barn, you know? Kind of shitty. And I don't care, man. We got like a whole extra barrel of foam out of them because he's kept screwing up and kept building up on top of it. That's just more insulation. I got a couple shelves over here, you know, I keep some fluids, chemicals, that kind of stuff. On this one, the super clean rack, the motor purr rack. It's a lot of this stuff is actually for the wedding. So that's just in here for now. I got this bad boy. Look at this sumbitch. This is from Sunfire Heaters. This is the last heater that's made in the USA. Look at that. Right there. Now, they sent me both of these. I figured we could use the littler one in the old pole barn because we're still working over there too. But then I was like, you know, I've got a big building. Send me the biggest one you got. So they did. That thing's like a jet engine. It's a radiant heater. It's supposed to be very quiet. I haven't tried it yet, obviously. It's still in the crate, but once it gets cool enough, I'm a little scared of it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Like, it looks like it came off of like an F-16. I don't know. I have installed the sun in my shop. Should keep it plenty warm. That's a windshield for a Challenger. That's an extra Pontiac 400 that came with a car I just bought. This is the 351 Windsor out of the wagon I got from Kevin. And this is a mystery small block Chevy I picked up out of some guy's garage for $500. That would be pretty fun. It's got dart heads on it. Every shop needs a random torso laying around. If you don't have one, what are you doing? It's kind of a wreck in here because we've been working in here for, 2 weeks nonstop. Before I get started on anything else, I'll be cleaning in here. But I figured it didn't really matter to film it. I figure anybody who's got a clean shop probably doesn't really do anything. The lighting, I got these high bay lights from Amazon. I think I gave $300 for 10 of them, and I only used 8 of them because they are bright. You can't even look at them with your bare eyes. It leaves a burn mark in your retina. And on the walls, I have some more cheap Amazon 4-foot fixtures, just in case you need a little extra lighting. And I've just got a couple of those. I need to put some more up. This workbench is covered in shit, of course. But this is the workbench that was in the open part of the old shop. This thing weighs like 4,000 pounds. It's ridiculous. But now I got my big good vise over here in a location where I can actually use it and really get some beating done on it, you know. But over here, I've got pretty much all my mechanical stuff. I got these Husky toolboxes from Home Depot. Pretty dang nice toolboxes, and they were fairly cheap. I think this toolbox was $600. It's nice. I mean, it's got power in it and everything. Kind of cool. I can keep my camera batteries charged. I can charge my drill batteries. And then I like this Husky roll-around box here, you know, that I've already filled full of stuff. This thing's pretty cool. I think that was about $325. Not bad. And then this fridge, I had this in the old shop as well. Never really got to use it much. I have a buddy of mine who's a appliance repairman, and that one, it just fell off the truck. How about that? Got this shelf off of Temu, you know. She's high quality, really stable. You got to be very careful with that one. And that's pretty much it for this shop. I mean, it's nothing crazy fancy, honestly. I mean, I would call this a pretty standard outbuilding, with the exception of the pull-through door. Now, hopefully that doesn't bite me in the ass too much this winter. They are insulated doors, but, you know, anytime you got a door, it could leak, and it probably does. So hopefully the sun offsets that. I will say the spray foam in and of itself has already made it 1,000 times better in here, even when it's hot. And I think future plans for the new shop here, we got to put in an exhaust fan. That's a problem I ran into, not something I foresaw. Was just how fumey it'll get in here. Even with the doors open, running a car, it just hangs up in the top here. If we just put like an attic fan in that corner and just kind of suck it out, and have a switch I can hit, that would be nice. And then I do plan on putting a mini split in it for AC and heat, but definitely AC more than heat. I plan on putting a mini split in. We'll probably put that on that wall, I imagine, unless I come up with a better idea. I think one good-sized mini split would probably take care of this place, but we'll see. I don't have the money to do it yet until probably next spring. I've spent quite a bit of money getting this shop done. Unfortunately, we ran into quite a few problems. People know that we poured the slab, and the original intention was to put up a steel frame building that would bolt to the slab. Unfortunately, the county where I live, they weren't cool with that. No, they had to be an engineered foundation because the building bolts to it. And they would not allow us to proceed that way, which really put the brakes on it and cost me quite a bit of extra money having to put these poles into piers now. We had to dig piers and put the poles in. It's ignorant. I don't know. You know, if you were to pour this slab and bolt a steel building to it, and if it was 5 miles to the east of me, it would be fine. But because of the county I live in, because they're all commies, then no, you just can't do it. They, for some reason, feel the urge to restrict and control you in every way possible here. Leaving the new barn, wander over here to the old barn. Looks like Jess took the LTD out. See, this is where that workbench used to be. I can get to my cabinets easier, my paint cabinet, and then my, really well organized body shop cabinet here. All of this is pretty much going to stay the same. The one thing I don't have in the new shop yet is air. So I've just been plugging in an air line that has to go all the way from this compressor all the way over there. And I don't know if that's smart or not. It's probably not great, but I don't use air a whole lot anymore. I mean, obviously for tires, and I got to run the bridge jack on the new lift. But I'm kind of wondering, I could pipe in air from the old barn here over to there, but I feel like it would freeze in the wintertime because the water would get into the air compressor, would get into the lines, and I think it would freeze if we were doing like PVC or something. And maybe it wouldn't. I guess it'd probably be fine, but so I could either pipe it in all the way over there, or maybe it would just make more sense for me to buy like another smaller air compressor. So I don't need the big boy. I need this. This air compressor is a must-have for body work. If you're trying to run DAs and stuff like that, like you're not doing that with a single-stage compressor. You need this guy, 80-gallon tank, and doubled capacity here. I think I could get away with a single-stage compressor and maybe put it in that little Temu shed I got, so it's outside of the building. I'll come up with something. It's not a huge priority right now, but I will need to address it. This place is a mess, but here's my plans here. I've kind of been cleaning out in here. I sold 2 small block Chevys I had laying in here. Just kind of getting rid of the greasy, dirty, grimy stuff. And I'm not going to be doing any more mechanical work in here for the most part. I mean, maybe here and there. But what I really want to do is body work. We can make this just body work and paint. Preferably just paint. But I also don't want to get the new shop. You start doing body work and the dust is just going to be unbearable. So it's a lot easier to clean this area here, which is, I think it's 14 by 24 or something like that. Like it's kind of an odd size. But if you're going to be sanding and stuff, definitely better to do it in here. So my plans for this shop are to re-roof it, which I'll be able to do now because I have a place to work. I'll probably just do it myself because despite what everybody said, the roof I built on the other side works totally fine, doesn't leak a drop, and it's fine. Seal it up better, probably have those spray foam guys come back or do it myself and spray foam this thing. Just insulate it like a little igloo cooler in here. And then the big problem is the doors. You can see the daylight running all around them. That's the big problem when I'm painting in here. So you see me put up filters around the cracks, which works, but doesn't allow enough ventilation. So here's my plan. I'm going to buy furnace filters that are big enough to fill these holes. I'm going to cut 2 holes in each door and have shutters. So you can open them up, have a filter there, and you can have cross flow ventilation. Well, you already got one fan that does an okay job. Then we'll probably knock this window unit out of here, put another fan in here, dedicated ventilation fans. That way we can pull air in and exhaust it. And I think that would really help. When I painted that Torino, I ran into huge problems with overspray settling on the car, and I'm sick of it. So if rather than build a new paint booth or buy one, I would rather use this existing structure to do it in. And I don't see why it wouldn't work. It's been doing it for many, many years. If I can just dedicate it to do one thing, it'll do that one thing even better. I do like working in here, so I may come back in here time to time just because it makes me comfortable. But for the most part, any body work, paint, stuff like that you see is going to be done here, and the mechanical work will be done in the new barn. And I think that's a pretty good solution, and I think that'll hold me over for years, maybe. I'm going to have to build another building for storage if we end up making too many nice cars. I hate leaving them outside, so I got to definitely look at building another building, carport, something. Well, I've got pretty good parts storage back here now. My old toolbox, I hardly use this thing anymore. I could probably sell that, clear up some space. I got this hose reel from O'Reilly. They were throwing that out, so I took it. Bought these cheap-ass shelves. I should have bought better ones. That's the carburetor shelf. Brake hoses. I got a lot of pulleys, random stuff everywhere. Intakes. Lots of brake parts. The radiator hose box of doom. These are all bolts and nuts, hardwares. Lots of trim and stuff in there. These lockers are just packed full of who knows what. But that's what I've always done. Pretty much any time you see me miraculously just like come up with something in a video, I'm digging around in these looking for it. I mean, I have hordes of shit everywhere. And it's not like I've, purchased all that at retail price. Like I'm always swap meet, some marketplace, and you buy a car and they throw in 1,000 other things with it. And I don't know, that's where I come up with so much of this shit. Here, let me show you my parts shed, then you'll really understand. This is the Temu greenhouse Jess just put together. You'll be able to see that on her channel. This is JD's truck that he just blew the transmission up in. So that's going to the scrapper. And, yeah. Someday, I'm going to come in here, blow this place apart, and see what the hell I actually have. But that day... it's not today. You can see some future content back here and some past content. Got the MG. Picked up this Chrysler Cordova for $250. That's the wagon that Kevin drove home from California and I drove home from his house. And I think I've got that swapped for something else. The burned goat is back there. I picked up a parts car for it the other day. So that's probably going to get put together in the nearer future. The 64 Grand Prix, that truck JD worked on, the Jeep that I blew the transmission up in and nobody cared about, some of a 72 Dodge Challenger, and some of a 73 Dodge Challenger. This is my dad's 62 Buick. It's a project he's going to be getting on somewhat soon. I picked up the 77 Le Mans last week. Couldn't turn it down. It was too good of a deal, so had to have it. The old Tornado's still running, driving. I still drive the plow truck Blazer occasionally. It's how I keep the trails and the woods down. That's a 70 Challenger. I picked it up in Arkansas. We're going to be doing a complete build series on that car. The Lincoln started it up, took it for a drive the other day. You wouldn't believe it, but it just drives great. My buddy at Atomic Aero Motors needs the 460 out of this, so I'm going to let him have it. Then we're going to junk the rest of this thing. Sky Goat is looking pretty sad these days, but unfortunately it's got to give up all the parts it borrowed to make it to Duct Tape Drags last year. This Dodge truck is going to be an engine donor for that Challenger. This is the 59 Dodge truck. Still doing it at least once a week. I'm hooking this hoist to something and moving it around. That's how we got that heavy-ass workbench in the shop. That's Future Project 72 Ranchero. Waiting on a parts car to come with that. It came, there were 2 of them, but I'm waiting on the guy to drop it off. Rusty Goat still back in here. It's just waiting to give up its parts for something. That car is just beyond repair. The Arizona 68 Mustangs under the cover here, and then the Chrysler New Yorker that Travis B sold me is there. Frankly, I've got too much shit is a real problem here. But, you know, we'll get to it eventually, or die, whichever one comes first. As you can see, the Cadillac is out here, and we are leaving for Duct Tape Drags tomorrow. And much more importantly than Duct Tape Drags, we are going on Poverty Tour. So we're going to be hanging out with, is it leaking gas? We're going to be hanging out with quite a few of you guys, which would be like, you know, our closest friends pretty much. It is leaking gas. I drove it to town and filled it up earlier. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, don't park it on a hill. I better move this. I'm gonna move that before it catches on fire. And hopefully I see you guys on Poverty Tour or Duct Tape Drags or both or somewhere in between. Not sure what we're gonna be working on next on the main channel. Probably that Cordova or something quick and easy. But you all let me know. And let me know what you think of my new building here. I think it's alright. It's decent. If I could do it over again, I would have built it bigger, but I'm pretty sure that's what everybody says, right? So, we'll see ya.